You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Dr. Catherine Wilson is a distinguished genre-diverse concert pianist and recording artist. As the founder and artistic director of the Ensemble Vivant, the group has recorded 14 albums over an impressive 3 decades performing together. She's also a passionate musical pundit. Over the past 15 years, Dr. Wilson has focused her efforts on the life-enhancing and even life-changing powers of music through Euterpe, a nonprofit exposing children and other underserved populations to high-caliber performances of classical, jazz, and related styles, which puts to practice her PhD research on music and healing. I'm excited to say that Dr. Catherine Wilson has joined me here on Winnipeg's Classic 107 this morning. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Catherine. There is so much that we could chat about, not least of which the prolific number of albums that you and the Ensemble Vivant have put out, which get some pretty regular airtime here on Classic 107, I might add.
Well, that's great to know. Thank you.
Um, I think I'll squeak in a little bit of music to end things off, but we're going to focus this conversation on your research and practice. And I'd like you to first tell us a little bit more about Euterpe, which you founded just over 15 years ago, right?
Yes, it became a registered not-for-profit charity in 2006, but we were doing things before then, and so it's been well over 15 years. But to have that registered not-for-profit status has been very important for people who want to donate, and they get a tax receipt, and it's just an official registered not-for-profit charity.
So Euterpe, taking the name from the Greek muse for music, tell us a little bit more about what it is exactly the organization does.
Well, I think the principal focus has been we found that we're bringing live as well as virtual, high caliber music education performance programs to children right across the nation. But a lot of the actual schools don't have any music. A lot of the communities don't. The kids have not been exposed to the music that scientists have deemed very, very critically important for the development of the young mind and for overall academic development, social development, all positive aspects of social development, and for overall health and well-being throughout one's life. So I think that the programs that we've developed, they have just proven to have such tremendous positive impact on children of diverse cultural backgrounds. And this has been consistent, and it doesn't matter where we play. So it's the kids are starving for what we bring them. We find that the vast majority of children are not exposed to these genres. They're listening to music on their devices, be it iPods or whatever, and it's not classical, it's not jazz, it's not related styles like that. And certainly for them, when we do have the opportunity, pre-pandemic, to be live in their school or wherever, we can see like the metrics are astounding, actually, what it brings to them. It transforms their lives in positive ways that words can't describe, and they want more and more of it. And we find ways of helping as many of them as we can. We're only one small team of of passionately devoted, committed Euterpians, if I can put it that way. And so we know that philosophically there would be many people out there who would agree and who would be supportive of this mission, but it's spreading awareness of it is really important, because then it helps more and more and more children have the opportunity. And for us, we believe that every child has the right to be nurtured by music that's been proven scientifically over and over and over again to be so beneficial to the developing young mind and to all areas of positive social development, academia, as well as health and well-being throughout their lives. So no child should be left out of the opportunity to be exposed to that, and that's our philosophy.
Well, and I mean, what a great philosophy that is, and doing that outreach and doing that work. Euterpe, based for the most part in Ontario, a nonprofit charity in Ontario. Though this doesn't sound too dissimilar from the Systema program, which was started in Venezuela, brought to Canada, which does have programming here in Winnipeg, also working with underserved communities, sharing in the power and importance of music and music education, and then the values then instilled. We've heard those stories many a time here on Winnipeg's Classic 107. As I mentioned, there really isn't a formal Euterpe program in Winnipeg, though recently the organization announced a new series of music education videos, which are going to become available online across Canada. Can you tell
Yes.
us more about that?
Yes, and by just to back up for a second, I love El Sistema. I think there's a distinguishing difference. I know that the kids are given lessons,
Yeah, that
and
is a
so on,
big
that
element.
isn't what Euterpe does. Euterpe music is the key. We provide these music education, high-level music education performance programs, which are very I guess they plant the seeds. And so like they can maybe, so they awaken a child to knowing that oh, I want to play the violin. Oh, because of you, I have to play the piano. I have to
Right.
do this. And so then it can maybe get a child into an El Sistema program, or it can get, or to doing something else, like singing in a choir, or getting to do what, any number of opportunities. And if you, if listeners are interested in going to our website, musicisthekey.org, and just scroll down just a little bit, there's a profile on Ismail Paris, who's one of the examples of a child who was introduced to these musical opportunities, performance, and they're so educative, but they're high-level performances involved, whether it's virtual or live. And he says in his own words how this experience, this Euterpe coming to his school, changed his life, transformed it completely in a positive, very positive way. So that's one example, but there are so many. But so I'm not sure if I've gone too far from what your question was, but it's sort of to bring it back to not
Yeah.
to make a comparison, but to show the difference.
Yeah.
Because I love what so many organizations, El Sistemas, I researched them so much when I was doing my doctoral research, and just love everything they do.
Yeah, it is such great work, and I'm glad you draw that distinction, and thanks for making that very clear. That first step really is the maybe the performance, hearing it, seeing it live, and
Mhm.
experiencing that music, and then thinking, what are the next steps that I can take? So they kind of work in tandem with one another, which is I think a really exciting opportunity. I guess one of the things I was wondering about is the new series of music education videos that I think that Euterpe has recently
Yes.
announced.
Yes, those are funded by the Canada Council for the Arts, which is just fantastic. We're so grateful. And these are, again, they're high-level performance education videos, which we're in the process of creating, putting together, and they will be available for dissemination across the country, starting in September of 2022, to all communities across the nation, to all schools. And there's so many schools that have no music at all. And so even though live is obviously such a gift, such a preferred, but this is a great second best, because it's something you can see over and over again. You can relive the experience. You can get other things out of it time and time again, and it's classic. It will be there years and years to come, and it'll be that kind of caliber.
Well, most certainly something to watch out for. That coming later in this year, 2022.
Mhm.
You're talking about online, and that's where a lot of us have been spending our time
Exactly.
the last few years
Exactly.
now. Here in the province, not unlike in Ontario, through most parts of the country, students started 2022 off with remote learning. It has, of course, been a challenge for teachers and parents, and especially the students. I'm curious, how has the work that you and Euterpe been doing, how has it been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
It's we've been shipping along regardless. However, all the in-school live, or involvement in
Right.
communities in person, it ground to a halt with the onset of COVID in mid-March of 2020. But we did create a hybrid series that was funded by the Ontario Trillium Foundation. And that series combines video with live. And it's a really great really great opportunity where we don't have to be there the whole, all the musicians, and so that we can be presenting things on video, but stopping the video on various points along the way and involving kids interaction from a distance, wearing masks, standing far back, and that the problem with that, it's that whole concept and creation that we have is fantastic, but a lot of the schools haven't been able to have assemblies, and of recent months, no assemblies whatsoever of any size. So we haven't even been able to do that.
Mhm.
But we're ready to go as soon as health officials give us the green light to jump in and make up for lost time. That was no fault of ours, no fault of anyone's. It's just we're in a pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
It's the
We've been talking a lot about students and the outreach that Euterpe does and the power of live performance. But I think, now more than ever, we're all seeing the importance of music, the shared experience of the live show, that being missed so dearly, like you've been talking about, and then how music can serve as a sort of balm to soothe and to comfort. And we get listeners emailing or calling or saying just how much they appreciate having Classic 107 on throughout the day. They put it on and they listen to classical music. Not to make you recount your dissertation word for word or anything like that, but can you tell us more about your research on music and healing, as well as the research of others, and how it helps to explain that anecdotal feedback we're getting? People just saying, I feel better listening to classical music.
Well, I come from a place where it actually saved my life, and the opportunity to have music at school, which of course I harken back to what I was saying before, that so many schools don't have that and so many kids are deprived of that. But there's something about music that's magical, that beautifully played, beautiful music beautifully played, has all kinds of physiological reactions within us, and from being very soothing and comforting to arousing all kinds of emotions, and just having there's a depth to it that profoundly, I guess, it accesses our psyche and the recesses of our psyche, and we're meant to have it. I think one of the ancient Greek philosophers, I think it might have been Plato, he had said, we need music and we need gym. So we need to move. We're bipedal. We're supposed to be moving. We're supposed to be exercising. We're supposed to be, bopping around. But music, he said, if you have the music, then everything else falls into place. And that the ancient intuitive wisdom of those philosophers and the ancients in general has been fully corroborated by uh, cognitive scientists, of neuroscientists today. The research has been extensive, just corroborating the intuitive wisdom of the ancients about the importance of music and what it does, and for our health and well-being. Even if there's something about all of it that just makes it so, it organizes your brain. The young developing brain is so benef- benefited by that opportunity, because music, quality music, and there's so much music that's quality music, but this music that we bring and that we're talking about happens to be classical and jazz and related styles. And that's the music that most kids aren't getting exposed to. And that music has been proven to be, have all those benefits, which are health giving benefits. It's health giving if you're if you're doing better in school. It's health giving if, if you're happy, if you're having a good time, if you're bonding more with kids. And I know there's lots of sports and stuff that can achieve bonding and that kind of really important, positive social development. Music has other dimensions that I don't think anything else has, and including some of the things I was mentioning before. So it's an art that's in a category unto itself. And they say that music is the only thing in life that uses all of the human brain. There's
Well,
nothing else that does. And so that's why you get examples of people who've had a stroke or they've got memory loss or something like that, and they can't remember their own child's name, but they can remember all the lyrics to a song. They can, the music is in their mind, and the music takes over, and it we need it, and we have to have it. But if you're exposed at an early age to the kind of music programs, for instance, that Euterpe, Music is the Key, brings to children, you're better equipped in life and throughout life.
well, Dr. Wilson, thank you so much for spreading that news and that information. And as it says, Euterpe, music is the key, and that it very much is. Thanks for chatting with me at Classic 107 today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me and for talking about this very important charity. It's as you can tell, I'm passionate and my whole team is passionate about it. We're so grateful for the opportunity to be able to talk about it to listeners. We're grateful.
Wonderful. And we're happy to share the word here on Classic 107 in Manitoba. You can find more details up at musicisthekey.org or, of course, classic107.com.